So I don't tend to do retro reviews on this channel, but you know what? In this instance, I've got to make an exception. Hello and welcome to FTTR, I am Hugh McQuaid, and today we are talking about Sov Pro Wrestling. That's right, we're doing a deep dive into Sov Pro. I'll talk about my plans in just a little moment, but we are talking about their first ever show from 2022, which is Firstreign. Now, before we dive into that, please subscribe, please like this video, please comment your thoughts down below, and I'll try to reply to every single one of them as we dive into this. Starting with the overall plan, my overall plan. So, I really wanted to get out to see a Sov Pro show, but I never got a chance to. I was never able to make the time to go due to work commitments, and they went away. They went away on a hiatus for a while, and it was just recently announced that Sov Pro will be coming back in 2026, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to do a deep dive. There's 8 shows. They put on a total of 8 shows in Manchester. I'm going to review every single one leading up to this show. So I'm recording this in November. You might not see this until like middle of the year next year, but I am talking about the show. I'm going to do a full breakdown, full review of every show. That is my plan for Sov Pro Wrestling leading up to their big return, and hopefully, fingers crossed, I can go, because spoiler alert, this was a very fun show. The first ever Sov Pro Wrestling show, Firstreign, was a very fun show with a lot of surprises. Going back and watching this, I was like, Mariah May's here. Like, to see where Mariah May has come from 2022 to now is insane. Harley Hudson as well. There's like so many names on here that are doing amazing things right now, and I think it's going to be really interesting. So as it stands right now, I have just watched Firstreign. I don't really know any of the results for the next shows, so I'm going to watch them further down the line. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited to dive into this. I am a big fan of independent pro wrestling, and I'm a big fan of wrestling up in Manchester because it's easy for me to get to and see these big names, because Josh Alexander was on the next show. Can't wait to talk about that. And yeah, shall we just dive straight into the review? So the show opens as a wrestling show does. We've got Lincoln Jack doing the sort of ring announcing, and we have DJ King on commentary. And the first match that we had was Tom Thelwell, accompanied by the Banter Bus, to take on Maverick Mayhew of Close Personal Friends, accompanied by Joe Lando and Danny Black, who have a match later. I was very excited to see this. I'm a big Tom Thelwell fan. I am a big Maverick Mayhew fan, big CPF fan. And when I heard that this was kicking off the show, I was like, this is going to be good. And oh boy, was it good. This was the high-octane style that you expect from Close Personal Friends, and pairing it with the sort of hard-hitting style of Tom Thelwell. It was a really good match, and you had a lot of, grappling, a lot of technical work, a lot of flips as well. It was everything you could want out of a match like this, and yeah, we got really, really good by the end, and there was no sort of animosity here. It was all playful banter. They were kissing each other. I was like, okay, I'm here for this. This is nice. What a nice way to start off the show. And yeah, it got really, really good by the end, and Tom Thelwell picked up the win. He hit a Made in Manchester on Maverick Mayhew to pick up the 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I was a big fan of this. This was a fun way to open the show. The next match that we got was RJ Singh taking on Benjamin Black. Now, I didn't know who either of these two guys were, but I was a fan coming out. My God, Benjamin Black is a beast. What a man. He is just huge. He's absolutely huge. And they went out there and they had this match, and it immediately started off with a spear, and I was like, that's the kind of fire that we're looking for. Story of this match was that Benjamin Black was just dominating Singh through the majority of it. He was hitting like German suplexes. He hit the opening spear, like I've stated. He was all over Singh, and it built this really good Singh comeback, who was just firing up and managed to, get a little bit of offense in on Black. You got this great sequence where Benjamin Black goes for a spear and Singh manages to hit a long blow, which looked awesome. He then makes this really awesome comeback, hitting move after move after move, ending with a beautiful Michinoku driver for a near fall. Very well executed. Then you had Black managing to power up, and he hits this big sort of AA F5 mix and gets the 1, 2, 3 over Singh, picking up the win. I think that was the correct decision, but this was a really fun match. And then after the match, Singh's in the ring and he gets jumped by Kelly Six, who we will talk about a bit later. But yeah, did a beatdown of Singh in the middle of the ring. Yeah, we'll talk about it in a bit. Then we got a Danny Duggan promo, and then we got Aurora Tevez taking on Lucia Lee. Now, this match was awesome. This was such a great match. Like, I didn't know what expectations I went into this. I didn't really know Aurora Tevez. I'm familiar with Lucia Lee from North Wrestling, but I went in there with this is going to be a good match. This was outstanding. This had a different pace to the rest of the matches. This had a sort of, slower build to it. At the beginning, they were sort of feeling each other out. They were getting quick arm drags and working over each other like that. But then it built into almost a submission match. They had a show of respect as well, offering mortar to the ref. That was always good to see. But then it built into these sort of near falls and these near submission bits that were really exciting. Tevez manages to lock in a bridging choke on Lucia Lee for a really good sort of near fall. It looks like Lucia Lee's going to give up, but she powers up, and then you've still got 5 more minutes of match left where you've got huge strikes and you've got just the power game being shown by Lucia Lee. Lucia Lee looked awesome in this match. You had this great sequence where Lucia Lee clocks Tevez with a headbutt and they both do a high kick to the head and you get this awesome double down. I loved it. You then got this great sequence where it ended with Lucia Lee getting clocked in the face for a really good near fall in the corner from a high kick. Then Lucia Lee manages to power through. She hits a huge TKO on Tevez and locks in a cattle mutilation for the submission victory. Yeah, I love this match. I thought this was freaking fantastic. A really, really good outing. Probably my favourite match of the show, I think. Between this and the main event, it was probably my favourite match of the show. I loved it so much. This was fantastic, and I can't wait to see more of Lucia Lee and Aurora Tevez in the future, considering this was in 2022, so I can't wait to see more. Bring it on. Then Joseph Connors arrives, and then we had the big elimination match, in which I need to make sure I get everyone's names correct, because there'll be a graphic above my face. You'll see everyone who's in this match, but the starting 4 were Simon Miller, Big Guns Joe, Easton Rees, and Kid Bandit. This is my first Kid Bandit match. I'm shocked that this has been my first match where I've ever seen Kid Bandit wrestle, and they're really good. They are really, really damn good. And this was fun. This was super fun. I think it got a little bit confusing on some of the rules at the beginning, because they kind of said it was an elimination match and kind of didn't at the same time. But that doesn't stop from the fact that it was insanely hilarious. So the opening had Simon Miller brawling with Big Guns Joe, and you had Bandit going after Reese, and they just brawled in the ring. You had a really cool 619 from Kid Bandit, and then Ian Skinner enters the fray, and he doesn't go straight for the action. He goes to commentary, and he did a very funny job on commentary when he entered this match. I really liked the friendship that was established between Bandit and Simon Miller, because it's wholesome. It's just a very wholesome relationship. And then you had Smashing Mike enter, and people just got destroyed. Smashing Mike goes after Ian Skinner, and then you had HT Drake enter. HT Drake was awesome and hit some insane moves in this match. He had a springboard wheel kick, which looked amazing. I was like, who's this guy? I'm not sure who you are, but damn, you're cool. Drake manages to hit a springboard long blower on Smashing Mike, but Ian Skinner manages to steal that pin and eliminates Smashing Mike from the match. So the final entrant in this match was Commander Sterling. I'm not familiar with Commander Sterling, but they are, they're cool. They have a very cool look, and they have a very cool presence, because they came in and they just started, they were coming in between the wholesome friendship of Kid Bandit and Simon Miller. And I was like, I don't know if that's going to end well for you. Then you had a flush of eliminations as Commander Sterling eliminates HT Drake, and then Reyes eliminates Commander Sterling with a huge slam, just bang. And the ring looked like it shook. Then Miller manages to roll up Reyes for an elimination. Then Ian Skinner manages to eliminate Simon Miller, and it looks like he thinks he's won, but there is still a Kid Bandit in this match, and they go at it, and they have a very cool sequence towards the end. Really cool. Everyone was behind Kid Bandit. No one was behind Ian Skinner. It was a really good dynamic. Skinner managed to lock in an octopus stretch and hit a big brain buster for a near fall. A Pele kick also couldn't put Kid Bandit down, but Kid Bandit manages to hit one of the coolest finishes I've ever seen in my life, and that's the one-winged angel, but onto Bandit's knee. I was like, oh my god, that looks brutal. Yeah, it was awesome, and Kid Bandit won and is the first champion They won the cup. They won the Crown Cup. They are the Crown Cup winner, not the Sov Pro World Championship. This was for the Crown Cup. They are the first winner. Awesome. I was a big fan of this. And then you had the wholesome celebration at the end with Miller and Warhorse and Kid Bandit all coming together. Very wholesome, very lovely stuff. This was a crazy, fast-paced match. Insanity. Nothing else to say. Next up, we had a really fun tag team match between the other members of Close Personal Friends, Danny Black and Joe Lando, taking on the 8-7, Alexander Roth and Roy Johnson. This was a fast-paced, quick tag team match. Exactly what you want out of tag team wrestling. It had psychology, it had isolation, people getting worked over, but then it also had CPF doing some insanely cool moves that you've probably never seen before. Like, this was so enjoyable. The power of the 8-7 sort of took over the majority of this opening sequence of the match when they were going after Joe Lando. Joe Lando was getting worked over. He built to a Danny Black hot tag. Danny Black runs wild, and then when you get into later stages of this match, it just goes insane, and they're hitting like springboard knee drops to the back of Roy Johnson. It's just insane. So the end of this match was Joe Lando was with Alexander Roth in the ring. He managed to hit a big spinning corkscrew suplex, which was a thing of beauty, but doesn't realise that Roth has tagged in Roy Johnson. Roy Johnson comes in, hits a wicked looking pounce on CPF and Joe Lando, and that gives them the advantage to pick up the win. 8-7 hit a gutbuster and a stomp combination, which looks awesome, and they pick up the victory. The 8-7 win. Awesome. This was a fun match. You got the ending as well with CPF going to shake the hands. It looks like it's going to be a sign of respect, but the 8-7 beat him down. They beat down CPF, establishing them as bad guys in this tag division. So I do know some of the matches we've got coming up. I think at some point we're going to get a 2 out of 3 falls match between these two teams. I can't wait to see that. I think there's a lot more in the tank. This was an extremely fun first chapter. Let me just say that. I thought it was a really good match. Didn't go massively long, but like I said, there's potentially a 2 out of 3 falls match coming, so I'm very excited to see where we go from here with this feud. Yeah, big fan. Then we had Sam Gradwell make an appearance, and he stakes his claim for that Sov Pro Championship. I'm sure we're going to get a Sam Gradwell match down the line. Then we had Danny Duggan versus Joey Hayes of the Models. I love the Models. Big fan after seeing them many times at Burning Heart Pro Wrestling. I'm a big fan of Joey Hayes, and this match was great. This match had great psychology to it, and it was a simple story of Danny Duggan just sort of working over Joey Hayes, but they did it in a really effective, non-boring way. You had the opening sequence, which was like graps, you know, they're grabbing each other's hands, test their strength, flip each other over, monkey flip, they both pop up. It was really cool. I love it when matches start out like that, but then Duggan does get the advantage, and he manages to work over Joey Hayes for a section of this match. You had this great bit towards the end of the match where Hayes is on the top rope, he knocks off Danny Duggan, goes for a crossbody, Duggan rolls him through and manages to lock in a huge single leg crab on Joey Hayes, and I thought that might be the finish, but it wasn't. We kept going, and then we got a distraction finish, because who should come down but Kelly Six? Again, Kelly Six comes down, distracts Joey Hayes, and that gives Duggan the opportunity to pick up the win, because he hits his someone else comes in to assist Duggan in a hoodie, and it's Leighton Buzzard. Leighton Buzzard low blows Joey Hayes, and then a DVD as well. Then Duggan hits a Fisherman's Buster and picks up the win over Joey Hayes, and then they stand tall. Danny Duggan, Leighton Buzzard, and Kelly Six all stand tall in the ring, announce themselves as the Collective. Cool ass name. Very cool name. And yeah, it was a good angle. It was a good, effective angle, particularly that they've been attacking fan favourites. Joey Hayes is very beloved. And then you also have Kelly Six as well, sort of attacking Singh, who was getting a huge babyface reaction from this crowd. Yeah, I think it's awesome. I can't wait to see where the Collective go from here. Big fan. Absolutely a big fan of this. Then we got the Dream House Death Match as Harley Hudson took on Mariah May. Now, the rules of a Dream House Death Match are that if it's pink, it is legal. So you can hit anyone with anything as long as it's pink, which is a fun stipulation for both characters, for Harley Hudson and for Mariah May. And yeah, this match was insane. This match was wild. This match was funny. This match was everything you could want out of like a Mariah May death match, but it had an element of comedy to it with everything being pink. So you had like pink Lego bricks, you had pink bags, you had a fan wearing a pink hoodie who was nearly used as a weapon. But I thought the way they worked around it and the way they utilised these weapons, it was funny. It was a laugh because they had fishing net. I think they were fishing nets, like mosquito nets or something, that were both pink, and just battering each other with those. It was super funny. You had both women just brawling all over this arena, all over the sports centre. They were brawling up the bleachers, brawling round to the commentary area. They were going all over the place, and it ended with this great looking drop kick off a chair. Really sensational stuff. You also had, like, towards the beginning of the match, baking trays. They were, is rose gold pink? That is the question that I put to you people. Is rose gold pink? I would say so, but I think people would disagree. And yeah, rose gold baking trays was where I was going with that. Drop kick to the face with a rose gold baking tray. Something I never thought I'd say, but it happened in this match. Harley Hudson hits a wicked looking dive off a balcony onto a load of security and to Mariah May, and then they end up in the ring, and Mariah May ends up handcuffing Harley Hudson to the ropes and starts lathering her with belt shots as well. It was pretty brutal stuff, but then Harley Hudson comes back, escapes the handcuffs, hits these awesome looking sort of step up jawbreakers, ending with a big stunner herself for a near fall. That was really cool. Then the Lego bricks come in, pink Lego bricks. It looks so painful. Powerbomb onto the Lego bricks looks insane, and it looks like it wrecked Harley Hudson because, yeah, maybe it doesn't hurt as much, but standing on Lego sucks. So I imagine taking a powerbomb into Lego also sucks. Then you have Mariah May go to use a handbag, but there's a brick in it, and a brick is not pink, so she's not allowed in it. It's pulled away from the ref. Harley Hudson manages to roll up Mariah May for the 1, 2, 3, picks up the win. Correct decision. Harley Hudson wins to a big ovation. It was awesome. And then you had the post-match in which Mariah May beats down Harley Hudson, brings out some cake to celebrate, and then gets driven face first into the cake. I could have taken a leave in that. It was fun, but it fit with the tone of the match. But I could have taken or left the cake. It was a good visual. Mariah May just getting face planted into a load of cake. But yeah, overall though, I had a blast with this match. Insanely batshit and very, very funny. And then we had the match for the inaugural Sov Pro World Championship as Malik took on Warhorse, who took on Levi Muir, who took on Joseph Connors. This match was awesome. This was such a fun four-way. You had Malik coming out with Costas as well. He was accompanied. He'd play a part in the match later on. And you had people really behind Warhorse in this match. Everyone wanted Warhorse to win. And yeah, you just got great in-ring action. There was no let-up in this match, really. It was just two people were in the ring, and there were also people on the outside doing things, so your attention was everywhere. It never lost a step. It never had that moment to breathe, which I appreciated in this match, because you don't necessarily, to have a good wrestling match, you don't necessarily need a moment to breathe, in my opinion, especially if it's a four-way where it's just crazy action, crazy moves. It was awesome. Warhorse and Connors went after each other in the ring, then they start brawling on the outside. You then had Muir Irish whipping Malik into the railing, which was absolutely sickening. Malik just yeeted himself into this guardrail. Absolutely insane scenes, and the brawling was just, it was all over the arena again. It was similar to the Dreamhouse death match in that everyone was just everywhere. You had Muir running wild, hitting a huge delayed suplex on Joseph Connors. He then hits a big double suplex on Malik and Joseph Connors. Then Warhorse springboards in, hits a huge double drop kick and just starts running wild. Non-stop action. Muir manages to hit a big Tower of Doom, taking everyone out. He tries to pin every single person in the match, and they keep kicking out. He cannot keep them down. It just kept escalating. You had Joseph Connors hit an awesome looking slingshot DDT, then he gets caught with a TKO. You got a great spot towards the end where it looks like Warhorse is going to pick up the win with a sharpshooter, and it's just everyone was rooting for Warhorse, but he doesn't quite get the job done. Ultimately, it's Joseph Connors who picks up the win. Connors managed to hit a low blow and a straight jacket neck breaker for the 1, 2, 3, but there were multiple instances, twice in this match, that Warhorse had the visual win. He had people tapping out or he had visual pins. So I'm very excited to see if this goes anywhere, if this leads to a Joseph Connors versus Warhorse singles match. But Joseph Connors is not satisfied with his win. He starts beating down everyone. He starts beating down Kid Bandit, who comes to make the save for Warhorse. And it goes off the air sort of just in carnage. Simon Miller comes down to get in the face of Joseph Connors. I'm here for it. I'm here for this ending angle of just carnage, of just Joseph Connors, running roughshod over everyone. And it topped off a fantastic fatal 4-way. I was a huge fan of this, and I'm super intrigued to watch more shows. It capped off what I thought was a great, fun, very enjoyable first show. What more can I say? Overall, I'll give it 4 out of 5. I'm intrigued to see where some of these matches go, because I know for a fact there's going to be a Leon Slater added to Sov Pro. There's going to be a man like Darius coming down. So this, as a first show, I think is a great opening show for Sov Pro. And I'm intrigued to see where it goes from here, what champions we get, what title changes we get. And that 2 out of 3 falls match, which I know is coming between the 87 and CPF. So yeah, I can't wait to see that. But I don't know what you guys think. Are you a Sov Pro fan? Are you not? Are you going to check out my other videos? Please do. It'd mean a lot. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and I'll try to add every single one of them. Thank you all ever so much for your support, and have a nice day.